You are understanding that you are source energy expressing in physical bodies, and that you specifically chose this perfect time-space reality in order to stir clarity or preference within you, and that when the new desire is born, that is the beginning of the summoning of Source. You are recognizing that the contrast is truly what puts the eternalness in eternity, because without that contrast, you could not focus your preference, and without focusing your preference, you would not be calling forth. It is a wonderful thing when you come to the place where contrast, and by that we do not mean agony and defeat versus ecstasy. We mean, although it can mean that, we mean variety. When you come to the place where the variety has stirred within you a desire, and that desire is summoning Source to it, and you stand still in the not yet fulfilled place. In other words, your desire is not yet manifested. It is an idea that is born within you. It's a clear idea. It's an idea of something you want. And you stand here not yet manifested in the new desire, but satisfied, eager in the anticipation of the unfolding of it. Then you are in the perfect place for creating. A sort of satisfaction where you are and eager for more. That is the optimum experience. So often what happens is the contrast stirs you to your idea of what is wanted. And the idea is so sweet. It is something that really rings your bell, something that you truly want. But as you stand here in the absence of it, you feel uncomfortable. The idea of having it really pleases you, but your awareness of where you stand without it is displeasing to you. And we say, that's a hard spot to be in. In fact, it's often a long spot to be in, because as you stand there, not a vibrational match to your own desire, you cannot allow that which is your desire. And that is the thing that goes wrong for so many of our physical friends, is that you are so aware of where you are. You are so observant of what is, and therefore offering a vibration that is so much about what is, that even though there are many things that you would like to be, you do not offer a vibration that matches those desires as much as you offer a vibration that matches where you are. And so as you continue to observe where you are, you offer a vibration about that. Law of attraction responds to the vibration about where you are, so you continue to be where you are. The contrast between where you are and where you want to be continues to feed your desire about where you want to be. The big question is, how much airtime, so to speak, how much playing time, how much attention to your desire are you giving relative to the attention to where you are? That's the big question. And it's not a hard question to answer, because your emotions are giving you a reading on that. Even more specifically, what's manifesting is giving you a reading on that. So, as time goes on and you are more deliberate about your creating, you begin to recognize that there is an absolute correlation between what you think and what you feel and what is manifesting in your experience. And while we are certainly wanting to assist you in finding ways to bring about manifestations that please you, we also, even more, want you to discover the deliciousness of focusing in your now in a way that feels good. We're going to offer some words here, some words that may be new to you in this context. Words that we think as you focus upon them, you will resonate with and recognize. That will help you to more clearly understand why you're getting what you're getting, or why you're not getting something that you want to get, or why something that you would like to get rid of stays, or why something that you would like to come seems slow in getting there. We want you to recognize that you have, without even realizing you were doing it, gathered some habits of thought. That's what a belief is. It's just a thought that you keep thinking. Habits of thought that in many cases serve you extremely well, and in some cases are not serving you so well. And among these beliefs, that's a strong word, and we want to soften it here, because a belief is just a thought that you keep thinking, or better stated, it's a habit of vibration. Many of these beliefs you could easily modify if you just knew that it was vibrational and that you had choice in what you were offering vibrationally. So we want you to realize that among these vibrational habits, you have some vibrations that are dominant. In other words, when you think about the subject of dollars, does dollars or financial abundance, does that subject feel to you like freedom, like unlimited, like fun, like exhilaration? Or does the subject of dollars feel to you like struggle and hard work? You can tell when we offer the suggestion of choices, you can tell where you lean. Now, often you say, well, I feel some of all of that. And we say, we know you do, and that's a good thing because that means you can choose from among what you are feeling. But you already have a dominant leaning. When you think about your dominant relationship, does it feel life-giving and exhilarating? Or does it feel like hard work and struggle? You know, you can tell. When you think about your physical body, do you feel vital and alive and energetic? Do you feel sure-footed? Or do you feel a little worried or a little tentative, a little guarded? You can tell right away which of those choices is more dominant in your vibration. Now, we want to help you to realize that it isn't dominant because you thought a thought, and then you thought another thought, and then you thought another thought, and all those thoughts add up to this big bucket of thoughts. So you've got a bigger bucket of thoughts that feel one way than a bucket of thoughts that feels the other way. Beliefs are not like that because vibration or thought is happening in the moment. In other words, it's a propensity to vibration more than it is a storage cabinet where all of your beliefs are stored. So what we're wanting you to ask yourself is, what's my habit of thought? What am I more likely to vibrate with? And in thinking about that, here's the easiest way to hear that. You might ask yourself, what thought is activated? You see, every thought that's ever been thought still exists. Every thought that you've ever thought still exists. Every thought that has ever been thought still exists, and law of attraction manages these thoughts. So sometimes you can get focused upon a thought and get a vibration going within yourself, just like a transmitting, receiving mechanism. And then other thoughts that match it, you now have vibrational access to. So what we are suggesting that you begin to pay attention to is what thought is activated. So you say, well, I have this thought activated that I don't want to have activated. And the reason I know I don't want it to be activated is because it's uncomfortable when I think about it. It makes me feel frightened, or it makes me feel blame, or it makes me feel guilt, or it makes me feel uncomfortable. And you say, I need to deactivate that thought. But the problem with that is you cannot deactivate the thought, because when you look at the thought that you're wanting to deactivate, you activate it. When you say, I want to get rid of that, now you are offering your vibrational harmony with this thing you want to get rid of, which means right now it's active in your vibration. And attention to different subjects, and with the help of law of attraction, that's how you activate thoughts, and over time, with practice, usually unconsciously doing it, you make this activation of thought dominant. So that without even knowing it, you're sort of percolating along, having this attitude or this belief or this mood or this propensity to vibrate relative to a subject. So even though your desire may be different from that, your habit of thought is there. So that's what we're wanting to talk about here, because the creative process is really only, you know this, you've heard it from us often, 3 steps. The first step is ask. You cannot cease your asking. Your preferences are born whether you are cognitively aware of it or not. The second step is answer the request, and that's not your work. Source energy will answer your request. And the third step is you must be in the receiving mode. You have to be vibrationally harmonious with the vibration of your desire before you can let it in. We call it being in the receiving mode. So if you're asking for something, usually you're not in the receiving mode while you're asking for it, because contrast has helped you to know that you want it. When do you most often ask for more money? When there isn't enough. So what's your dominant vibration while you're asking? Someone said to us the other day, what is up with prayer? What's the thing with prayer? And we say, well, you can pray from your asking mode, which is usually a needy place, or you can pray from your receiving mode. And they said, well, what is the difference in the prayer? And we said, when you're praying from your receiving mode, you're usually expressing your words of appreciation, your acknowledgement of well-being. In other words, you are acknowledging your value, you are appreciating value in yourself or someone else, or in that which you call God. But when you are praying from step 1, you are in this mess you don't want to be in. There is something happening that you don't want to happen. You've been aggravated to this strong desire. And so you say, well, why is my prayer not answered? And we say, every prayer is answered. The question is, are you letting it in? You've got to be in the receiving mode in order to receive what you are asking for. So, as we're moving forward here today, we want to assist you in getting into the receiving mode. And sometimes you'll notice that when you are in the middle of asking something, it's harder for you to hear the answer. Sometimes someone else will ask your question, and it will benefit you because it will be easier for you to be in the receiving mode when you are not sitting in the hot seat. We've discovered a process that we see very beneficial to so many who are wanting to conjure their own vibrational stance. In other words, there are many of you who have decided that you want to be the one that sets the tone of your vibrational offering. And we think that is a wonderful thing. That's what deliberate creating is, because most of you are not deliberately setting your tone. Most of you are setting your vibration from what you are observing. So if you are observing something that feels good, then you are offering a vibration that attracts more of that. But if you are looking at something that does not feel so good, by your attention to it, you are holding yourself in vibrational harmony with what you do not want. It is important for you to recognize, the most important thing that we will ever say to you, that the stream of well-being is the only stream that flows. Really, it is. And so, by your choice of that which you give your attention to, and your choice of that which you think about, your choice of the vibration that you practice and continue to offer, you may be in the place of allowing that stream of well-being to flow, or you may be pinching it off a little bit here and there. And so that's why we are calling this gathering the art of allowing. It's the art of remembering, remembering, because you knew it when you came forth, you remember it for a while. It is that knowing of well-being, that excited anticipation of expecting things to go your way. And we want to help you to restore to that expectant place of well-being. So we have a new game or process. We are calling it the game of virtual reality. You have played the game maybe under other names. Sometimes you call it creative visualization or using your imagination. But this game is a little bit different in this way. Here is the way it goes. The whole process takes about 30 seconds. And as you play with it a while, you can get rolling. The idea is to get in, feel good, get out. And you set the scene just like you're directing a movie. You decide where it will take place. And you're reaching for a place that you are fairly certain will make you feel good when you get there. So you find a place. You decide what time of year it is, because as you make that decision, it will begin to conjure emotion within you. You decide what time of day it is, how is the sun in the sky, how does the air feel upon your body, and then most importantly, what is the mood within you? How do you feel? And then you may have someone else with you. Sometimes it's a wonderful idea, sometimes better to be alone. You get to decide who else is there, how do you feel, how do they feel, what do you want to say to them, scene ends. And the point of it is to get in, bring yourself to a crescendo of feeling good, and then let it be. Let it stop right there. Now, the reason that we encourage this short little... We watch Esther as they are driving down the freeways. Esther is practicing virtual reality. And she discovered that she would get in, she would pick a place. It would be a place that she loves being. She would choose the perfect time of day. She would make the air feel just the way she likes to feel it. She would make the air smell just like she likes to smell it. She would make things look just the way she likes to see them. And then she would bring someone in, and quite often she would find herself attempting to reform them in some way. In other words, she would bring someone not perfect into her experience and then try to use virtual reality as an opportunity to perfect them. And we say to all of you, virtual reality is not that kind of a process. This is a process where you practice a vibration to make it dominant. Virtual reality is the process where you choose the vibration and you make that vibration dominant. If we were standing in your physical shoes, we would use virtual reality only to make the vibration of our choice dominant. Did we mention why we would do that?
Yes.
And the reason that we say that is because you are accustomed to doing other exercises like creative workshops where you're visualizing things the way you want them to be. But what we've noticed about you is that as you find yourself in a situation where you want more money, or you want different bodily conditions, or you want your relationship to work in some different way, what happens when you take that you already have a vibrational habit about, and you take it into virtual reality, you just mess up virtual reality. In other words, you just use virtual reality now to practice the vibration that you've already got dominant.